You're on.
All right, I want to call to order the September 14th, 2021 meeting, 9:30, little after 9:30 a.m. Show that 6 of us are present and Diane is by phone this morning. Let's start with Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You want to lead us in a prayer, Eric?
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we praise your name, Lord. We thank you for this day and all the blessings of life that you've given us. Bless this time, bless these people, and give us the wisdom and the insight and the understanding to do the things that we can that are according to your will and good for the citizens and taxpayers of Scott County. And bless those who are having health problems, and Lord, watch over them, heal them, and be with them in all their treatments and the things that are necessary to try to keep going and get better. So we thank you for that, Lord, and know that you can heal and do all things. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
All right, good morning. Is there anything that anybody needs to bring up? We'll hear it this morning, but we won't do any action on it. Seeing none, let's move on. We're going to mess the agenda up a little bit and get Miss Melissa out of here kind of fast. Melissa, if you want to come on up.
Yep, thank you very much, I appreciate it. Okay, so I am here on behalf of the Regional Development Authority, just to kind of bring you all up to speed. The RDA, which I know you all are very familiar with the READY program, they're going to be applying to the IDC for that $50 million. They are wrapping up their plan as we speak, and IEDC extended the deadline to September 30th. So they're just making the last little tweaks they need to that plan to have the best submission possible. To let you know, I believe it was 59 eligible projects that were submitted to them to consider for funding. They are including all of those projects in the plan, but they are doing a tiered, like RDA projects, RDA supported projects, partner projects, and I cannot remember the name of that last tier, but it doesn't matter because our projects don't fall in that tier. The youth sports complex does fall into the RDA supported projects tier, which is very good news. That is one they're hoping to support if funds eventually come down. So they can't promise that. It all depends on what money they get, but we're in a good position. I will put it that way. Good. So what I'm coming to you today with is a resolution to support that plan. When it's finalized, they're going to approve that plan next Friday, a week from Friday. And then it pledges your support for the plan, and then also submission to IDC for ultimate request for funding. Just to kind of remind you, you had initially approved the bones of this plan in 2019. What's happened is they've taken that plan and they've revised it with the projects that were submitted this past summer. So this is something you've essentially already approved. Now you're just they're updating the plan with those more recent projects.
Do we need to act on that?
Yes, there's a resolution.
Resolution.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're going to see who all agrees to it, and then she's going to take it to the commissioners at their next meeting. So we'll say that we agree as long as the commissioners, sign their agreement too. So we are on in the description of the project, we are one of the participants in it. I mean, it's a county thing. We've got the Visitors Commission, we've got us, we've got the commissioners, we've got Austin City, we've got Scottsburg City, we have
Both school districts.
Scott County 1, Scott County 2. Did I leave anybody out?
I'm trying to think. I don't think so.
Visitors Commission, us. I think I hit everybody. Community Foundation and the partnership.
Yeah.
And the partnership are also,
Yeah.
so they're just getting, this is just us saying that we'll do our part.
Okay.
Not fit the whole bill, but do our part to, if we get the funds for it. And the complex is in their docket, which it's looking really good for it, that we're still on board. All right?
Yep, exactly.
Everybody?
Enthusiastically move to approve.
Awesome. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, Raymond.
I got a question. Is that it doesn't require us to, promise any money or anything right now.
This
We
is just in support of the plan.
Support the
Oh,
plan.
yeah, but no, there's no action to commit officially those funds. But what we have said in our initial project request is we would be willing to, if funds come down the pipe, to
Okay.
commit some funds to the project. Yeah,
Okay,
but that is not what this is doing.
okay.
Yeah.
And in keeping with what Rachel said, Raymond, is your motion and contingent upon the commissioner's adoption of said resolution as well, or no?
Well, I don't know why we care what the commissioners do. We made our approval and we approve it. The commissioners will do what they want to do, so if it's necessary, yeah, but I don't
I just
think,
wanted to make sure.
no, it's our motion.
So we'll do our part of it.
I'll go
All
on.
right, we'll stand on our own.
All right.
Raymond motion approved, Donnie second. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-0.
She came back, that's right.
Do you want me to pick up the signed one tomorrow? I'll be back for the commissioners meeting. I don't mind to do that. If you don't want to take the time right now. I can just pick it up
You want
tomorrow.
us all to sign it?
Just whatever
me?
is on,
Just the
yeah.
president.
And then Tammy needs to sign it. Yeah. Thank you all for moving me up on the agenda. I have a call with the EDA and I really need to be there, so.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Thanks so much.
All right, now we'll go to Bridge. You want us to go ahead and do the ordinance since we're the electronic, or, yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter if she can't vote. Public hearing, 2022 proposed budget. I guess.
The one part for the taxpayer, asking for anyone that has comments.
The notice to taxpayers, notice is hereby given to taxpayers, or, let's see, complete details. Notice is hereby given to taxpayers of Scott County, Indiana. The proper officers of Scott County will conduct a public hearing on the year 2022 budget. Following this meeting, any 10 or more taxpayers may object to a budget, tax rate, or tax levy by filling an objection petition with the proper officers of Scott County, not more than 7 days after the hearing. The objection petition must identify the provisions by the budget, tax rate, or tax levy to which taxpayers object. If a petition is filed, Scott County shall adopt with the budget finding concerning the objections in the petition and testimony presented. Following the aforementioned hearing, the proper officers of Scott County will meet to adopt the following budget. Is that all we need to do with that?
And then the second part, asking for anyone who has comment. It's on that same sheet that
Did I miss it?
I have it in there, don't
You just ask for 10 or more if there are any taxpayers that have objection. And then move on from there.
Any taxpayers have any objections to the tax levy? I can't find it. All good? Singing all good? I don't have anything else.
And then from there, Rachel, you can move to the review of units. The next one.
All right, review of other county units, max levy estimates. Everybody have a chance to peek at those? breaking it down into the townships and fire and,
And this is what used to be council's non-binding review that you've done of other units. The DLGF has changed that. Now you just look at each unit's levy, what they proposed as their max levy, and your normal recommendation is that they stay at or below their estimated levy. That each unit adopt at or below each of their estimated levies.
so I need to ask that right now.
Do we do each?
You can do it as a whole.
Okay, then I need to abstain for this. I need to abstain. I'm the clerk for the Dinah Township trustees.
So do I need to say the 4.3 to have it
Yes.
correct?
Mhm. And then council has a recommendation to all units to adopt at or below their estimated levy. And we will send out minutes to each unit to let them know your recommendation.
Okay, the council recommends that the local units do not adopt over the 4.3% of their maximum levy. Now, do we need a motion and a,
Recommend that all adopt at or below.
recommend that all units adopt at or below the max levy?
Estimated max levy.
So where did the estimated?
Adopt
max
at
levy-
or below the estimated max levy.
Where does the estimated max levy come from?
It's a calculation by DOT.
Okay. And so is there a, what's the term? The increase that you can put on, what is that? The
The growth quotient.
4.3 down at the bottom.
What's the growth quotient? Is the growth quotient built into that 4.3? Okay, so. Okay. Yeah. I do have one question about I think it's the Visitors Commission. I don't guess we have, like, it's non-binding, stuff that we really don't have any say-so over, I suppose, still.
For visitors commission?
Yeah.
No, that is binding for you. You adopt their budget. They
Well-
are considered a county unit.
Okay, well, what I was,
We'll go over that in budget.
okay, I was gonna say that they don't have any, like invoices or anything like that to see where they spend anything, it's just all,
They submit a budget to you for each year, but the payroll or their claims are not through this office. You see, they're approved by a board,
yeah,
and they're paid from that office. They do not come through the auditor's office. But they are a binding review for you.
okay.
Makes sense, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
They spend how they want, and we can say something about it, but we don't know.
Okay, did you say we need a motion and a, all right.
Yep.
I need a motion to recommend that all units adopt at or below the estimated max levy on their budget. Do you have a motion?
I would move that if you need one.
Raymond?
I'll second.
Ab second. All in favor? I'll have a 5 and a,
Abstain.
not really oppose, a 1 abstain.
One abstain.
Out.
Got me out of that one.
Okay, moving on. EMS Director Position.
So that's the only thing today is just the empty position.
You all have a letter of recommendation there. next to your packet or.
Okay, it says, Dear council members, as agreed upon at the September 14th, 2021 meeting of the Board of Commissioners, we are requesting the interim EMS director be compensated at the pay rate equal to the salary of the full-time director position. We also request that the pay change be retroactive to the date duties began for the now designated EMS interim director. Therefore, the EMS director, interim director, would be compensated at a rate of $1,346.05 per week, which is a 33.65 hour, retroactive and effective from July 8th, 2021 until a permanent director is in place. Thank you for your consideration of our board's request. Sincerely, Mike Jones.
Me, I would like to go on what we always went on. We've always went back and paid, what the directors paid up until they made a director, so I'm good with this. And this is interim.
Yeah, I agree, that's what we've always done, so I don't see any reason to change now.
And that's the current rate of that's what they
Yeah,
were being paid, the amount though, and that's what they were being paid.
whatever the director was being
Was being
paid.
paid.
I don't think it's really any more money, it's just making sure he gets paid what the director would have been getting paid.
Right.
Because he's making actually less money now, because he was on the road getting more hours in. And in the past, we've had people in this position before, and we gave them that before. So it's just basically compensating the work he's doing would be director. Now, it doesn't mean he's gonna be the director,
Right.
but if he goes to something else, his wages would go back to what they were.
Are you close of getting a director?
I would not think, no, I don't feel close, no.
Okay.
All right, do I have a motion? Donnie, did you motion?
I'll make a motion.
Ab, you want to second it?
Yeah, I'll second.
So that's to amend this 2021-001 salary ordinance to add an interim EMS director and compensate him retroactive at the full director's rate. Is that
Right,
correct?
the day
So
that they
let's,
started being interim.
you want us to add the position to the,
Yeah, yes, you can amend the salary ordinance and by adding the interim director for EMS as a position on the salary ordinance, and then we'll leave the EMS director line alone. We'll just create an interim underneath it, and then just compensate them at the rate of the regular director's pay.
okay, so Donnie motioned to amend the salary ordinance position, interim director,
Go back to the day they started.
EMS, interim director, position, $33.65 an hour. Pay starts
Was it July 8th?
July 8th, 2021 to current,
And stops when they make a.
and
director.
ending when position is filled.
Yes.
That clears mud, Tammy?
There's mud.
Very good.
All right, Ab second. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 out. Okay. Health Department, Miss Michelle.
So my part is pretty simple. I hired internally for my HIV care coordination position, so I would just like to keep that person at their same rate of pay and move them over to that position. So, and that position's paid from a grant, so it wouldn't affect
Paid by grant.
my budget or anything like that.
That's good.
Do we have paperwork or anything on this?
I think you're just amending the salary ordinance, so
Okay.
that'll be the only paperwork that you have.
Okay, do I have a motion to amend? So is the HIV nurse, it's not already on there?
It's not a nurse, it's our care coordinator that works out of our Austin office. We had somebody leave. And then my HIV tester moved into that position. So I just want to keep her at her same rate of pay since I hired her.
So we're just switching care coordinator to,
No, you're technically changing the rate of pay for one of the care coordinators.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, amend the salary ordinance, care coordinator salary
Yes.
to,
I can't remember what it's at now, but
The prevention outreach coordinator.
HIV tester. What did
The
she make
HIV
her?
tester is $17.41 an hour, and you are wanting to
Keep her at her same rate of pay as she moves into the
$17.41 because
care
your
coordination
HIV
position.
outreach coordinator, HIV.
I thought it was 16.
It was 1666, but with the raise, it was
Okay.
1741.
so that'd be 2022. Do we need to put 16 on there, or?
Because 2022 raises wouldn't go into effect until next year, right?
This is
Something-
21.
Okay,
Yeah, this is 21's
Okay.
rate of pay. 20 was 1666, and then 21 is 1741.
All right, okay,
Could be
so
different
amend
than-
salary ordinance for the care coordinator salary to be $17.41 an hour. HIV care coordinator,
which should
right?
be the same rate that she's making now.
17.41.
Is that right, Tammy?
You want to just.
Does that start immediately?
No, I want to be tester. It's,
That's what she's making now, but she's moving into the other position,
yeah.
so we just have to make the HIV care coordinator salary $17.41 an hour.
right,
Okay.
yeah.
We're
yeah,
adjusting.
1741.
We're all that on me again.
So
So
we're
you're
adjusting the
basically
salary.
splitting your HIV care coordinators, you're gonna have a 1 and a 2. And the HIV testing rate will be number 2.
So we're gonna leave the HIV tester alone. We're just switching the care, HIV care coordinator salary to $17.41.
You're changing one of your HIV care coordinators to 1741 an hour.
That's what I mean, but she's a HIV tester right now, so is it separate on the ordinance?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Okay, that's what I'm trying to say.
yes.
Okay.
Person left. She's-
So you're changing one HIV care coordinator to 1741. I'll split them out.
So we'll
You'll have
leave,
two.
we'll leave the other tester in there in case they need it, right?
So we have to amend that salary for that
That
position?
amount's right, Rachel.
What?
We have to amend that salary for that position?
Yes, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're not
That's
adding
gonna
anything.
Be part of the motion?
All right, who motions?
Nobody
All
yet.
right, almost.
Probably,
All right, Lindy motion, do I have a second? Everybody understand what we're doing? Raymond seconds. All in favor? 6-0.
Thank you. I think that was it.
Thank you, Michelle.
Are they gonna give boosters in the future,
So boosters are supposed to be approved next week.
next week?
Yeah, so if they approve them, we will be giving them.
And how long is like the wait?
That's what they'll decide next week. If it's 5 months, 6 months, 8 months.
I've heard 8 months.
Yeah, but if you're immunocompromised, then you can get a third dose, not necessarily a booster, but
I
a
don't
third
know what
dose.
that means.
Well, we just tell people ask your doctor. Probably the best thing. It's just
okay.
if you're immunocompromised and then they want you to get a third dose, you go off doctors.
Okay.
I got mine, thank you very much.
You're
You
welcome.
booster? Did you get a booster?
Yeah.
Really? Good deal.
All right, Highway Department,
Yeah.
Mr. Kevin.
If it works on him, I can do it.
I got too much stuff here to look through. I saw it earlier, but
Okay. This is gonna be for Bridge 105, which is on Main Street. I'm gonna be asking for additional appropriation to, do a replacement on it of $749,000.
do what?
Main Street,
Yeah,
we're gonna replace the bridge, Bridge 105.
okay, I got you.
Yeah, we're gonna ask for additional appropriation of $749,000. Basically what that does is it buys the material, and year 2021, Silvacon's recommending buying the material this year. Thinks it'll be 20% cheaper this year compared to what it is next year. Now that does leave us with a balance to finish that project for next year of $540,211. So this is kind of two parts. If we do this, buy the material this year, we'll still be 540,000 shy of finishing the project next year. So.
You done been in front of the commissioners and?
Yeah,
got
we're
their
gonna pass the
approval?
commissioners, yeah.
Come out of local road and street, bridge, Coon Bridge,
Bridge.
the
And
money
that
there.
is- Yes, that is their total operating balance right now. The 749,929 is their operating.
Well, that'll clean that up. Whoa.
So you'll have that for next year?
Yeah, he'll have the distribution for next year, for the 540.
And that'll be able to,
Finish the project.
we'll be able to do it.
And that's a
All
clear
right.
span bridge, so they're higher.
Yeah, I know.
So I need a motion to do the additional appropriation, $740,929 from Cume Bridge
I make a motion.
for Bridge 105 Main Street. Eric
Yes, we gotta do it.
Eric motions. Do I have a second?
I'll say it.
All in favor? 6-0.
That's all I got. Thank you.
That's all?
That's
Good
enough.
deal.
We got one more.
I was gonna say, I thought we had a little something.
Sit down, Kevin.
I was close.
The next one is just to put money in place for the HB 1001, for the grant. This is to
Oh,
put
okay.
our money in place in the grant money, so just housekeeping. And that is $1,393,377.
There it is, it's totally Coon Bridge.
Okay, sorry. 1,393,377.
377.
Okay, so that's our highway match. Is that what we're gonna call it? or-
The highway match, your match, and then the grant, just put everything in appropriation.
Okay, additional appropriation. 1,393,377 into paving.
And that's line 42401.
42401. All right, do I have a motion? This is our match and the grant money. Motion?
Where's that money come from?
Where's it coming from?
It's the.
From
it's Your
paving.
grant, what?
Or we're putting it into
council
paving.
Gave to them to match the grant last year, so this is just to appropriate the line. So it's the match money and the grant from NDOT.
The money that the state sent
It's in a fund by itself.
and the money that we matched is already, and then we're putting it into paving.
So moved.
Raymond motion?
Second.
Eric second. Do I have, all in favor? All opposed? All right, now you're done, I
Now we're
believe.
done.
Thank you, Kevin.
Good day, Kevin.
Assessor, transfer request.
She's requesting,
Should we wait on her?
up to you.
We can move on.
Transfer.
Okay.
She's requesting 2,000 from office supplies, 1,600 from heat oil, 2,000 from equipment to go into line 1270 insurance, totaling $5,600.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor? All in favor, everybody? 6-0. Okay. Community Corrections additional appropriation request. Requesting funds for 2503 to add the part-time admin assistant at $16.59 per hour for 21 to 28 hours a week.
That's already been done. It's the vehicle.
I'm also asking to add the amount for our leased vehicles. Both vehicles will cost $17,000 for this year. So they're asking for an additional Amanda's here.
Sorry.
Alrighty, dear.
So last year, when we purchased our vehicles, it was not put in our budget because it wasn't done before you guys did budgets. Excuse me, so we put it in last year. We were able to purchase our first year, and now our lease is up again. We have to pay it by November. But you guys took it out of our budget last year because we hadn't used it yet. And so we just need that added back in so we can pay for our lease this year.
Is that gonna come out of user fees? I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
I'll second.
So that's,
So that it comes out of user fee.
do you have that line item number?
Is that for
400.
two vehicles?
So 17,000 moved from,
It's, I don't have a line, vehicle purchase. I don't have a line item.
alright.
I think it's 400, 400 something. I can't remember what the other one
It's
is.
A transfer 17,000 from vehicle,
additional appropriation into vehicle purchase.
from,
It's not a transfer, it's an additional.
okay, motion, Donnie motioned, Dab seconded, all in favor.
The motion is to what?
To move 17,000, or an additional appropriation from their user fees to vehicle purchase of 17,000. I had it all.
So we're not addressing a part-time here.
No, we already did that.
Not today.
Oh, okay. I'm thoroughly
Everybody?
confused, but okay.
Yeah, they've already got the vehicle. They've already got the vehicle.
All right, I kinda got you confused, I'm sorry.
No, no, I was born that way.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes.
See ya.
Oh, here's the dang numbers right here. Okay, anyway, moving on. Building supervisor transfer request. Morning, Josh.
Morning. Morning. I don't have the paper, Teresa, I don't know if you have it or not, but the line transfer. You're all, thank you. So, I'm gonna transfer, I went to the commissioners and got the approval on a vehicle, so, and I have the money in my budget, so already for 2021, so we're gonna go ahead and try and get it this year, so we don't have to break into 2022's budget, since we found the money to move around. It's a 2022 Ford Maverick and $21,740. But I think we get fleet discounts, so I think some of that will actually come off there. But I'm gonna move some money from, I'm wanting to put it into a line item that you guys have already put in a vehicle line for $6,000 is 42,601. And I'm just taking, you want all of the line items?
The transfer from overtime,
Yeah,
$2,000 from overtime, 4866 from janitor supplies, 3374 from telephone, 3,000 from utilities, and 5760 from repairs maintenance.
Yep. So in total, would it be 25,000 moved into that line? And that's just to cover any other fees that we have to have, make license plate, stuff like that, so.
Into 42,601.
No. Well, going back a couple years, just checking all the budgets in the past.
All right, on 9-1, Scott County Commissioners approved it, so do I have a motion? Lenny motioned. I'll second. I'm happy this has finally happened. God love you, Josh.
Believe me,
I'm glad you're gonna be safe
it's
now.
life miserable to get it.
Lordy, him in that car.
What's that?
All in favor?
Well, I got a question for Josh.
Yeah.
You got 3 more months to go in this year. You still have balance left in these funds?
Yes, sir.
That's what I did.
Yeah, that's, I went through and we made sure, Teresa, we made sure that we had what we would have left over in each budget.
It's not gonna deplete these items?
No.
And you've estimated that you'll have sufficient in these items for the
Yes.
remainder of this year?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Raymond, what I did is went through and averaged what he's done for the first half of the year and went back and looked at last year and did an average. So we went conservative on the numbers to transfer.
Okay, I'm okay, thank you. Thank you.
What you got?
It's just the
Picture of it.
vehicle.
All right, all in favor?
A Maverick is a car to me, you know, back in the old school days.
6-0.
So now it's a truck.
Congratulations, Josh.
Thank you.
Round of applause.
You deserve it, yes. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, yeah, I know, right? Thank you.
Well,
And then am I to the next one too?
I'm still debating that, I don't
You
know
can hang
about
around
that.
for it.
What's that?
You can hang around for it.
I mean, okay, you need this back?
Do we have something, Josh, on here for something else?
Teresa said possibly. I mean, I don't have to be up here, I don't think, but unless you need me to.
The next one is advertised additional appropriations for the rainy day fund. One is every year, council puts in place 20,000 for murder fee, for us to pay for the attorneys for murder fees. And we didn't get that in place for this year, so we need 20,000 as an additional appropriation in rainy day for murder fees. And
For
we'll
what?
talk about the next one.
Murder.
In rainy day for murder fees?
Murder.
Yeah.
Raymond, you going on a spree?
These are attorney fees for murder cases. And we appropriate 20,000 each year for that.
That's coming out of,
Well,
Rainy day.
oh, it's coming out of.
my question was going on, are you ready for comment or?
Sure.
Yeah, rainy day fund to me is sacred. And, is there not anywhere else this money can be, and we're talking about $20,000.
Right.
Nowhere else it can come from.
I can advertise that in general fund for next month if you want. I think we have enough operating general fund. But I just went on past practice that you all usually or always put 20,000 into that fund for this purchase.
I'm not opposed to putting
Money in
20,000 into the fund. I question where it comes from. And if we can do it somewhere else besides rainy day, that's what I'd prefer.
I think we need to stop depending on rainy day.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so I will advertise in general fund for October.
Can we see what they have left in their budget?
The judges,
Mhm.
prosecutors?
Okay, advertise in general, next meeting.
Before, I thought it was rainy day. Think she did.
She's gonna check general
Yeah.
for next meeting. She's gonna advertise it in general to see.
This-
But I said we
one
should
where
check.
they come before, do they come from Bill or they come from?
Past, I think it's always come.
Rainy day, we've always
Yeah,
done,
always done.
we've always appropriated 20,000 in rainy day. And I do have it for next year, so we can talk about that next month
And there's nothing pending right now.
for fees.
I mean, there's no trial or anything like that.
I'm not sure, I'll have to check.
I mean, say they had 5 or 6,000, maybe we just.
You got what you need there.
Or
Yeah.
25 or something.
Yeah,
So we put it in rainy day for this stuff.
for that purpose only. But I'll look and advertise it for next
They
month.
just have to add to what they already have.
Right.
All right, do I have a motion to advertise that in general for next meeting?
So moved.
Recess this part.
Second.
Raymond, all in favor? You good, Eric?
I'm not good with any of it, really. I don't understand it, and I don't know why we're doing, it that way.
So 5-0.
So can you run that by me again?
5-1.
The past was always, it always come out of rainy day, for murder trials.
Mhm.
It always come out there. Now, we're wanting to look at it in a different direction and see if it can come out of, I guess, general.
General,
It
or
was
their,
put in rainy day for that purpose, so I don't know.
But
Yeah, that's what
what I would like to see, if they've already got, say, 10,000 in there, just add 20 instead of the whole 30. I don't think anything's pending right now.
I just text Chris and asked him. I just text Chris, and asked if there was anything pending.
That way we just add to it, and I might save it.
And we probably could talk to, I'll talk to Josh Stigdon. There could be that partially, the reason for that is partially this could be reimbursed from the state. So I'll ask him about that too.
Well, I
We
mean,
need to stay away from rainy
the-
day.
20,000 is not a lot of money. I mean, you still have to,
30.
you know, this type of stuff, but, you know, do we have to have some number floating around someplace, you know, put in some fund for
In
this?
case we do have a murder trial, yes.
I know, but I mean, if we had a murder trial, can't we just come to a meeting and say, we need
Sure.
$20,000?
Sure, sure.
But it'd be a lot more than $20,000. That's why we put this money into that account.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Why does it matter if we put $20,000 in?
Is it 20 or 30?
I mean, is that
Because
just
it's a buildup. It's a larger account. We just put 20 in it to keep it large in case we have a $2 million murder trial come.
How much?
So we do a little bit at a time, so we don't have to come up with $2 million to pay for that murder trial.
Well,
But instead of coming out of rainy day fund, we're looking at other places to pull it from.
So it's not just 20,000 that we have to come up with. We put 20,000 in there just to keep it where we could pay the whole trial.
Yeah.
Get it now?
Yeah, I guess.
That's been
It's
the
not
same-
just 20,000 that we have to come up with if we have a murder trial.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
been
gonna
the
be
same amount
millions.
that since I've been here, and since '07, it's been 20,000 every year in rainy day. Now it's gotten to where if you do have that sort of trial, it's gonna be a lot more than 20,000.
Yeah.
So it's up to you. I mean, it's your all's pleasure. If you want to not appropriate it and just wait and see, but you've gotta have money somewhere, you can appropriate it if you do that.
I'm not against it, I just think we need to look somewhere else for that 20,000.
So we have a motion to recess it while Teresa looks for a different spot from general fund to find the funding
It's better, yeah.
Yeah, if-
till the next meeting. All in favor?
If I was a no, I'm a yes.
Okay, 6-0.
I voted.
Drainage board, user fee,
We've got one more.
What?
We got one more for rainy day.
Oh, okay.
We also advertised $300,000 for repairs to the courthouse roof. So that's why we asked Josh to hang around. The commissioners are going to accept bids on that because we do expect that to be over $150,000.
We're right at 149,000 for 2 quotes that came in, so they decided that it would be best to do bids, because if it comes in and there's damage to the roof, then they don't know until they tear off the shingles, until we know if we gotta replace boards and certain things. That end of the courthouse, is either real bad or it was built that way. It has a big belly in it. It's weird. But
Talking 26 years that roof's been on there, is that correct?
yeah. Since 94, 95, whenever they did the addition and then went ahead and put the roof on, that's when all it is. So, they put a motion to go with metal, standing seam, because you can't really use screws. If you use that style, then you're gonna go back to do all them screws and start replacing all the grommets and everything. So standing seam was the best to go with, for your lasting abilities of a roof. So that's why.
Do we have a timeline for this?
They told me that both companies that put in quotes, now there will probably be more since we have to do the bid process. The 2 companies that did come in said that they would get started on us right away, pretty much, as soon as they would get the approval, and it's a 3 to 4 week job. Because they have to,
What'd you guys do?
This is a big OSHA job too, so.
I think it's one of them things, you got a bad roof, you gotta do something.
Yeah, you got it.
But we've been waiting on you guys to make a decision
Yeah,
for a while.
We did, the decision been made, we said go with it, that's what he's here for.
All right.
Finally.
Okay, finally, we're here. Okay, we're here. So we wanna make sure I think the one thing,
2 years
for me
later.
personally, is we don't wanna put on, we wanna make it appropriate to the courthouse. We don't wanna put something on there that distracts from the looks of our courthouse. This is like a focal point of our county. So he's making sure, and making sure we have something everybody can be happy with. So, the question is how much, I think.
This will probably bid, come in front of you guys,
Yeah.
seal bid, come in front of you, open up in during a meeting and all that.
So I got the spec sheet laid out. I mean, I'll take anything from you guys that you guys want me to have in there, even the same from them.
So you said the highest one right now is
They're
140,000?
all,
Or
there's
all
2 of them
around there?
right at 149.
149.
What's the lifespan of this roof that we're talking
The
about?
lifespan of the roof is no less than 50 years.
Because it's the metal and standing seam.
There's
So-
2 different styles. They have the S, the snap block, and then they have a T panel. I'll be honest, I've never done either one. I've only done barn metal. So I'm not familiar with them, but I've done the research, and T panel's a lot better. It's a little more expensive, but it floats more with the roof because it clamps together, and they can do a middle section and do it. But snap block, it's all pretty much the same. I'm more worried about that end of the courthouse, and I have pictures you can go over later.
Or what they're gonna come up with when they get into there?
Yeah.
Is that what you're worried about?
Yeah. I mean, and that's why we have to go with the bid process, because if we get over that 150, then it's like if we do the quotes and we go with, okay, we're gonna go with this one, and then we're gonna get backlash on other companies, and I think that's why we want to.
So do they not estimate for stuff that has to be
They do
done?
add in, like they'll add so much money per panel, like say it's a piece of plywood, and then it's got on there appropriated for this much, but you just don't know. I mean, that's the only thing. I'm just hoping that they tear it off and they're like, oh, we're good to go.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
I know.
Do we not have insurance that pays for any of?
I advertised it in
I mean, you would know more of that stuff than I would.
Well, it's
Over time.
over time, so it's not because of a
Oh, sure.
specific.
I'd rather a big wind thing come by and just,
Yeah. Can you, when you do the bid, can you ask them to bid it like they're replacing everything to see where we're at? Like if they take everything off and all of the underlying is bad, could you have them say, hey, this is what it would cost to replace the plywood, everything? So that we know, we would have an idea, because,
Down to and including the decking and
right,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, if
I think
they,
they could go down to include the decking. The only thing I'm worried about is more or less the rafters over here, because it's like a ski slope.
but I'm saying if you
Oh,
have
there's
them
bracing in
do,
there.
if you have them do, you know, quote, replacing everything on the whole thing, places are gonna be good, would cover the
Yeah.
rafters, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
So about the trim and the gutters and things like that, did you look at any of that stuff with it?
That wasn't on there, no.
But would that be something?
Normally it says whenever they do that, on two of the quotes, it says they clean the gutters and because once they tear it off, they're gonna get shingle stuff in the gutters, so they clean it, so.
I mean, but they're not damaged enough where they're gonna be redone or anything like that?
Oh, that's good.
So what do you need from us today to
She was
move
just
this thing
advertising.
So I
forward?
advertised the 300,000 because there was, John, stay with me here, there was discussion last time that it could be around 150,000 for the roof, but we talked about also a little extra to do paint and carpet, start with that process upstairs. So I did advertise 300 instead of 200 or 115. We advertised a little more after our discussion the other day.
Yeah,
I'm good with the 300,000 as long as
Right.
the roof is the first thing.
Yeah.
And if it takes all 300,000, then it goes to the roof.
Right, right. But we did extra
Yeah.
for projects upstairs. And Rachel, I've got one more for rainy day after this, so just heads up.
So on this one
there we
here,
go again, rainy day.
Yeah.
What
This has to come out
about
of
Cume
it,
Capital
right?
It
Development?
does not have to. If I can find it someplace else, it doesn't have to be. There isn't that much
Cume
money.
Capital Development got any?
Do what?
Cume Capital Development
No.
got any money?
No, you use that for the clerk election and for a part of IT. Cume Cap does not have.
Well, my goodness, that's
It's
what
not-
20 days for.
Yeah, but I'll look in other places, but you don't have that much money. It's sitting in a fund somewhere. I can piecemeal it, but you don't have it.
I think that this is what rainy day, this is kind of what it's made for, in my opinion. This is,
Right.
our roof is gonna fall
It
in.
happens when it's
Well,
raining.
Yeah.
And I will remind council, anything that's advertised for additional appropriations, you can consider that at that amount or below. You can't appropriate more than what's advertised for the taxpayer, but you can consider 300,000 or
Or
below.
less.
Yeah.
and I think they're hoping to get this done this year.
Yeah,
We have
if
some
they get it.
pricing coming in.
So how much
I don't
How much do we
consider
have
it
left in-
emergency, but
Rainy
okay.
day.
Should be over.
we've been dwindling away really fast, though, Donnie, we gotta think about that.
The balance in rainy day right now is 1,615,733.36. 1615733.36. Now, I'll get ready to
It
give
is.
hit you again with the next advertisement for rainy day. And Kevin came before you all, I'm sorry to keep him here. He came before you all, I think the meeting before last, to tell you that he's going to, apply for the next grant. So he'll need another 333 for the possible match for the next HB 1001.
I thought we already did it.
Do it next year.
We did this year for this first.
I thought we went ahead and appropriated it for the next round.
He talked to you about it.
Okay.
It wasn't advertised, so I advertised that in rainy day.
So that'd be 600 and some thousand on a rainy day.
That would be, yes.
633.
We should've just left it all in the hospital reserve fund. It's all gonna be spent.
Now, if you all have a suggestion about other places, but again, there's not that kind of money sitting in a fund anywhere. And, local road and streets pretty much tapped out.
Commissioners need to find us a money-making
That's your problem.
You guys run this place, you need
Yeah, we
to
do, you finance.
bring some money
You
in
finance.
for us to finance.
Well, we gotta get the roof.
Advertise,
Well, I think the roof is-
333,333,
absolutely necessary.
33. Match for
One definitely has.
highway grant.
How soon do you need that on the 333?
Do we have any damage?
You know what, let me call
Inside?
him and ask him.
The light fixtures are leaking in the Joseph's room.
We gotta be able to move
that,
forward
but,
on that roof today.
The carpet,
Yeah, I
the
agree.
chair,
You want it
pretty
across
much.
the-
Prosecutor's office.
You don't want it done, you don't want them up there working in the wet season.
The matching
It's been
grant,
going
we
on.
might be able to wait.
3 years, I know.
We're not thrilled about it.
But they got right on it, made a decision finally.
Yeah, and it's seeing it
But I
might not
just-
be
I think
that
that's-
total amount either.
The kind of the
Yeah, that's
definition
what I'm
of
hoping on.
All right.
I wouldn't get my hopes up, but let's hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they may have to fix
Yeah,
what you was talking about, that mold.
yeah.
I've lost my wig, here's the total right here. Teresa's gonna beat me.
Well, usually a company,
Quit clicking that pen.
There's too many kids, that's why I don't use a clicker pen.
Yeah, see how it
At
rolls.
least I haven't put it on the table like that, like you like to do.
I don't think it's built like that.
Drive me
I
nuts.
think it's built like that.
Look, we got no money for nothing.
like a
Oh,
company.
that bill thing? Yeah, I saw that over there, money, that's awful.
You gotta fix that.
Okay, so what do you want?
So he needs to get on the roof with it.
Deal though.
Recess it all. I wanna put it all away, Raymond.
But it's just it's general,
You
know,
appropriate
it's
some
not like
money
something
over
fell
there,
in.
just like
It's
they did the
general.
jail over there.
so
They was,
maybe they can
they was
straighten that out a little
running
bit for us.
above, and beyond the roof. Yeah, they gotta have it all.
They'll straighten it out when they redo it.
So, Mr. President, what we do,
I
As
guess
close
we
as
don't, we don't really have any other choice to,
we gotta fix the roof.
As close as we are on the money, I'm gonna be for the 150,000 for the roof, and I'm gonna be for the 300,000 for the highway next year. But the painting and the extra money for that, I'm not gonna be for that.
Well, we don't know.
we're just gonna appropriate
We're gonna
300,000 and
because
see.
because we don't know what's under all of that.
I
And so
know.
the 150 is just,
I know.
if it's perfect.
I know,
Have
but
they done anything with, Superior Court, like chairs and carpet or whatever? Have they done any remodeling up there?
I'm just, I'm gonna throw in this one, I
That's
think they're waiting to get the roof
embarrassing.
done, so there's more.
Yeah,
So
I
there's,
don't,
so
I don't
stuff
think
doesn't get
it's-
ruined.
there's no like damage. I mean, if you go up and walk through after a meeting, if you wanna walk through, I'll walk through with you guys so you can see everything upstairs. That's totally fine. There's parts in the old part where you can see the addition of the old courthouse into the new courthouse where the hallway is, and there's like a hump where I don't know if it's built like that or if it's a little ramp or whatever, the carpet's been up. Or the circuit court carpet is way worse than down at Superior. But, I mean, that's just all with, wear and tear for over the 20-something years that it's been up there and people coming in and out. It's time to replace now. The roof needs done first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what.
So if you appropriate the 300,000, you can, I wouldn't necessarily say it's gonna take, I would say no more than 200,000 if major things possibly, replace decking and stuff, but, the rest of that, if you have to put it into the 333,000 or whatever, then we have to go back to the flooring and stuff later.
If we put, I've been around a long time, if we put 300,000 on some line, it's gonna get spent. So, if we don't wanna spend it, we'll put 150 in there, we'll spend that, need more, go get it. If you put 300 in there, it'll get spent.
Are they gonna know that we appropriated $300,000?
No. They won't, you talking about people in the bid process? They don't get, we don't tell them, hey, we have a budget of
If we have new bids come in, we don't take those. We go with the ones that are already put in 149,000 and we roll with it. And then they add, when they come across the boards that they need to.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, there's no like, hey, our budget is such and such amount, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and put it in here for this. That's why I say it on there.
Well, why don't we appropriate
200,000?
200,000 and then, cause that will cover possibly any
175.
Up to your,
200.
All right.
200.
Come on.
200 and then.
Come on, let it go.
You know, and then, once we get it fixed, then we can come back for all the other stuff, because
That sounds good.
instead of just,
Okay, so where are we gonna put it? Into
Like what we're gonna do.
maintenance repairs or?
Repair and maintenance.
Okay. Appropriate 200,000 from rainy day
Teresa, they would have to come.
to repair maintenance.
They still have to come back to council, they wouldn't just be automatically start spending this money.
If they appropriate it, it's in place to be
So they don't have to
expended.
come back. Okay.
As soon as you guys get the bids and you get it going, then Josh can get
Yeah, well,
started.
that's what I wanted to know, as to his point. Will you guys be notified when if it goes over 150,000, that money's gonna be spent? I think it's a good point.
200,000.
So what you're saying
You
is if
guys
we go
will
over that
charge.
$150,000 bid, then if more money comes out of it, then I need to come back and say, hey,
More than
it's
what
gonna
we
cost this
appropriate.
much more money. Is that what you're asking?
For your,
Yeah, I think they ought to know.
for your
I think
purposes
we all
here,
know.
I can, if you specific wanna be
I should know.
200,000 for a courthouse roof repair, I can create a line, and that's the only purpose it's for. If that's what council wants, instead of just repairs and maintenance, which could be across the board, I can create a line for you for that.
I'd like that better. I mean, we still changed it, but I like it better. I mean, it puts another step between us
Yeah.
and wasting money, whatever.
Well, and it's in line, but after you all appropriate today, it's up to commissioners to make sure not to approve claims that's for anything else other than
Yeah,
that. And of course, our office.
Good luck.
that sounds like a good way to.
And you and Tammy will want to be there, remind us every time we have a meeting, you know, we gotta go through this process.
okay, let's just do that.
And then just a note on the side,
So-
the judge came down a couple of meetings ago, I don't know if John already touched on that or not, and talked to the commissioners about the MTR that you guys appropriated money for, the Allen and Ritz or whatever, architectural firm, about the revamping, I'll call it, of the upstairs to accommodate the additional court, and talk to the commissioners. So before, I would suggest you guys get into the carpet and all that stuff, that you take a look at what the judge and the commissioners worked out. They've gotta come to you guys with a plan, I think.
Yeah.
We already
About
vetoed that.
upstairs,
We're just talking about the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
All right, so we wanna create a line item.
For, is it
Courthouse.
150 or 200?
Courthouse roof repairs,
175.
Line item,
200.
courthouse
200.
200,000.
roof repair.
And any unused funds reverts to the rainy day fund.
Appropriate 200,000
I'm fine, I mean,
If there's any left, put it
From
back in
rainy
the
day.
fund.
I think that's a good compromise.
If there's any left, put it back in the rainy day fund.
All right, do I have a motion to create the line item courthouse roof repair?
So moved.
Motion. So I have a second?
I'll second.
Lindy second. All in favor?
Reluctant.
6-0, okay, the line is created, appropriate $200,000 from rainy day to the newly created line item courthouse roof repair. Do I have a motion?
Any unused fund reverts to rainy day.
Motion,
And I would move that.
and any funds not used returned to rainy day.
There you go.
And the other stuff we'll do it.
Per Raymond.
That's a good compromise. I think we did
And all that
good.
stuff will be at a later date.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Any funds not used for that purpose.
Well,
That's the only thing you can use it for, it's in the courthouse roof repair.
it's
That's why they
in that
created
line, so what's?
Do I have a second?
The other
Add
stuff is
second.
coming back later.
All in favor? 6-0.
The
All
other
right.
stuff is after we get the roof fixed, then we'll come
Yeah,
in
then they'll
and
come
do the
back.
carpet and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah. We tell them yes or no then, you know.
God love you. All right, can we move on to the drainage board, or you have something else,
Well,
Teresa?
the 333. Kevin hasn't reached back to me yet. I'm gonna ask you if you will, table that.
Okay.
So moved.
Move the table.
I'll
That's
second.
an easy one.
Okay, so Eric motioned to table,
Prolong the agony.
Donnie second,
There you go.
table the 333,333.33.
Yep.
I
Match.
can't look at it for you, Jim's either. Can't hold it.
Okay.
No, we gotta have that.
Okay, drainage board. Something new.
It's not gonna be that new, they're gonna want money.
Yeah, $10,000, an additional appropriation. And, the balance, cash balance, this is a cumulative fund through the years. The cash balance right now is 27,763. And they're requesting 10,000, Tammy, for, on the drainage board, user fees, 10,000 for the, remind me.
Is it the Laird?
Yes, the letter
Project.
project.
I had to think there for a minute myself, because that's
Lake
Lake and
Lake.
River Enhancement.
and something happened.
Lake River.
It's a grant to $40,000, make sure I'm right on that, from the state.
Yeah.
To help.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a big lump sum, but now it was 40,000.
Yeah.
And they hope to get more, by the way, they think they will.
So what you're saying is they've got the money anyway, and they're spending their 10 to get 40 or something?
I don't know if we got the money yet or not, do we, Tammy? The Laird grant?
He was talking about their fund money. Yeah, no, the Laird grant, I don't know that we've received those that appropriation from the state yet. But I think Eric was saying that Drainage Board has it in their own fund, we're just moving it into a line to be able to spend it.
It's appropriating, it's in the cash balance.
And I-
So it's not county general money or anything?
No,
Okay,
it's in its own fund.
move to approve.
Eric motioned. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Appropriate the $10,000. Ab second. All in favor? 6-0.
And then, Kevin just texted back, application is submitted, deadline was July on the next round. For the,
When
road
was it
plan.
deadline?
July. Deadline was July, and he submitted the application.
Cemetery additional.
I would guess that would be the more, that's recent.
Yes.
Did you look into that, John,
We-
on prices and stuff?
Yes, went and saw Scott, the cheapest he could get us on basically the same mower was 7,700. And that was like a government price. So we did a trade-in on the other one, and I don't remember the exact number we got, but we have about 2,000 back on the old one, which they have to redo themselves, do up.
That'll come off at 7, so
Yeah,
took it down to
yeah, I don't
5.
remember the exact figure, assume Teresa's got that, but it's around 6,000, was it? Am I in
I
there?
think so, then the trailer talked about.
Well, yeah, we haven't got that done yet, but we're still looking. So that's what this is, the Moore Cemetery Commission. And they've got it. We were looking at taking it out of the 18,000. The county, the commissioners have a fund, we get 18,000 approximately for the vehicles behind it. The health department, those big trucks that sit back there, they pay us $15,000 a year. This money is going to come out of that, that's what we're asking for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you need approval on that?
Well, that's coming up after this, but the cemetery, we asked for $8,500 to be appropriated. And that's pretty much their operating balance. Right now, their operating balance is $8,603, and we asked for $8,500 to be appropriated in the budget. And the same, if it's not used, it'll stay in as unexpended.
So move.
All in favor? Lindy, were you good with it?
Yes, ma'am.
6-0. Okay, so now we're gonna do the rental fund, or was that where it was coming from?
Partially. That's the balance in that fund, the 18,000. So you're just gonna put that in place. And I think I gave you a copy of the ordinance that put that fund in place for their revenue. And it's for maintenance and improvement of county-owned property, land, or improvements. That's the only thing that this money, that 18,000 can be used for. So we're asking that you appropriate it into that budget so that if needed, you all can use that for the cemetery equipment, partially or all.
So is that what the purpose was intended for this?
That's what we're asking for today. When they created that money, I don't know if there was an exact purpose for this reason.
No.
No, I'm not talking about the money, I'm talking about the purpose of the resolution. Was the resolution, the purpose of it to help with the cemetery stuff, or is it just all?
No, I think it's county overall, it wasn't specific to cemetery.
Right, but I'm.
Maintenance and improvement of county-owned property, land, or improvements.
Yeah, I know, but is there a purpose in mind for this?
Not particularly. I've at least, I think the other two have too, in the last couple of years, we have, I don't know, 70 something, I don't know, 70 to 100 acres of property we have to keep up. And some of it gets really out of control if we're not careful. It did get out of control last year. Everything from the landfill to the trial property, all that, we have to keep that up, so. That was my intention, but I don't think we had a definite decision when we did that. We want to create a fund that we can dig into for whatever purpose is necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did we take the 50,000 out of their budget last year? Do they still have that in there for miscellaneous? Have they dug into that?
Some of it has been.
Okay, so we need to so this ordinance is already in place, so what do we need to do with it?
Just the additional appropriation of 18,000 into a repair and maintenance line in you're creating a budget. Because there was none, it was just accumulating into funds, so you need budget so we can spend it.
So we're gonna make a line item in their budget.
Yep, and in fund 9169
9169.
and create repair and maintenance.
Take the roof out of that.
35002. And appropriate 18,000.
Okay, do I have a motion to create repair and maintenance?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor of creating the line item? You all opposed? Were you a yea or nay?
Well, I'm trying to figure out, Raymond's question was a good question. I mean, we've already got that, don't we?
We've already done that, but
I mean, we've already got this, we've
already done that.
We're getting paid this money for them to park their trucks out behind John Jones. That's where this money came from.
That's the balance in the fund, so you need to.
So the
appropriate.
$18,000 is gonna go into this specific fund. Okay, so we don't,
And then if there's any left, we could pull it from that fund to use on the roof.
okay. Well, what I'm saying is, why do you have to have a specific fund for that to go in when we've already got repair, maintenance, and different kind of funds that we put
That's
the
just
money in?
what they chose when they when the revenue was started in that fund, I chose to create the fund and specifically put that money in a fund for what they outlined in the resolution.
Then we can watch it. This rental money goes into this fund. So all we're doing is allocating this 18,000 that's in there now. We're gonna put it in a repair maintenance line for them to use. And then this will keep accumulating again as they pay rent.
Or are you thinking it should have been commingled with other revenue in general fund or someplace?
Yeah, I mean, repair and maintenance, don't we have repair and maintenance already? Of buildings and stuff like that, I don't know. I mean,
Yes, in his budget, yeah.
Well, the commissioners though, since it was rental proceeds from
they're trying to
the property
separate.
that we had, they wanted to turn around and use that specifically like to mow, but not be tied to just mowing the property that the proceeds came off of, but to mow any county property, because we have the transfer station. There's a lot of mowing goes on out there. We've got things behind the John Jones building that needs to be
I think it needs
mowed.
to go in rainy
And
day.
it's not necessarily the highway's job to do that, because their work and their allocations are for highway work, not mowing county properties we've accumulated. So they wanted to be able to have a fund and not have to come back to you guys out of general fund to maintain to keep the properties up. This is just a way to use the rental proceeds and turn it around and put it right back in the county property to keep it up. And
Are they
it's
gonna pay
just a small
attention to it and use it how it's?
That's, because we've already paid, that's why it's not exactly perfect as to all of our income, is because they have used Abbott to rent, they rented Abbott's equipment and paid Abbott to mow, a lot of the properties, and they've used it a time or two for things to actually, so if there's small maintenance items that are needed or something.
Tree removal.
Yeah, tree
That's
removal,
tree
Pigeon,
removal.
because that's our property down at Pigeon Roost. And, I wanna say Ridge, but that's that subdivision, Pigeon Roost. So, they do use it, that way they don't have to come back to you guys for little
Or use
things.
general fund money.
Yeah,
You would have tree removal on the cemetery fund?
it's not part of the cemetery.
We had tree removal one time, I remember we voted on that somewhere.
Use it
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
So
You
like
know,
the
to try to,
bookkeeping
you got 3 or 4 different things,
The bookkeeping.
repair and maintenance, you put, half a dozen repair and maintenance lines. I don't.
Well, I'm just gonna say this, if the commissioners hadn't agreed to rent this property out, we wouldn't have this. So this is just miscellaneous income that helps take a little bit of the burden off other things. So that's, I guess, how you look at it. I mean, if they didn't choose to, if they said, no, we're not gonna rent, then we wouldn't even have this.
Right. I mean, it was a blessing to us today.
Okay, I'm done.
Good.
It was worth a question, I thought.
Well, sure.
Okay, so were you opposed?
Well, no, I'll let that.
Rachel, what was the count?
Can we just do it again?
Okay, to create the line item, repair, maintenance, 35002.
6-0.
Ab Watson, Raymond Jones.
And that's in the.
Yeah, we did that.
Budget.
All in favor?
Yeah.
All right, 6-0 this time. Okay, now to appropriate the 18,000 from rental proceeds fund, 9169 to 35002, the newly created repair and maintenance line. Motion?
No motion.
Lindy, I'll second. Let's go. All in favor? 6-0. All right.
Now, and then-
Visitors Commission.
That fund item
Do what?
is already identified.
Yeah,
I didn't look at
yeah, it was right here, the rental proceeds fund.
that. That's what we created.
It's not a mic drop, it's a table slam from Eric. All right, so Visitors Commission,
This is a little bit of housekeeping. Like I said earlier, Visitors Commission is a binding review for council every year, even though we do not do their financial work through the auditor's office. They are binding review or adoption review. I didn't put them in place because we wasn't sure how if the county was going to let them go to be their own entity or keep them as a county entity. That was supposed to have taken place last year and it didn't. So this is just to put their budget in place this year. So it's bookkeeping, essentially.
So we're just moving that they're,
You're just creating their budget for 2021. And
180,340.01, is that right?
no, $320,860.34.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Oh, well, I guess we better wait. I guess we don't really need to wait for Lindy. You can go ahead.
Isn't this a result of, from initially, recommendation of the State Board of Accounts that we,
Yes.
on an audit, that we do it this way?
Yes.
And now that you mentioned State Board of Accounts, exit interview for the 2020 audit is Thursday morning at 11 a.m. this Thursday. Everybody is welcome to attend. It's either on the commissioners or council boards. State Board of Accounts wants the presidents of the boards to be there, and Rachel's already committed to being at the meeting, but again, open invitation to any other board member. At 11 o'clock on Thursday, if you want to come hear the auditor's portion of the State Board of Accounts exit, it's open invitation to any council member to attend. But Rachel's kind of required to be there, at least somebody, president, they hope, and then anybody else is welcome.
All right, Lindy, I have a motion to adopt the Visitors Commission budget for 2022.
Additional appropriation.
Additional appropriation. Bookkeeping. Add motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
It's not costing us anything.
Huh?
It doesn't cost us anything.
No, we're just adopting doing the
Just keeping it.
appropriation for their budget, since they're not part of our budget entity. So good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, 6-0. Anything else with them?
No.
We're getting there, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
County Elected Training Fund, additional appropriation request.
You have put in place, last year, you adopted to put in place $2,000 for training and travel for newly elected. This fund is pretty much used just about 3 or 4 elected officials. So we just need to put a little more in place in line items for training through the rest of the year. And I advertise $5,000.
Where'd we advertise it from?
County elected training, it's its own fund.
Oh, so we're just moving it, sorry.
So move.
Second.
Donnie. Ab second, all in favor? 6-0. Oh, I see, from the 22,000.
This next one, what is that?
You've already,
There's the Visitors Commission paper that, sorry. It was later on in my paperwork, it wasn't with the original. Blind leading the blind this morning. Okay, electronic meeting policy ordinance. So this is, the commissioners have already adopted it, said yay to it. an ordinance adopting an electronic meeting policy for Scott County Commissioners. Do I need to read all of it, or just? The purpose and intent of this ordinance is to adopt a policy pursuant to Indiana Code 514-1.5-1, establishing the procedures by which members of the Scott County Commissioners may participate in meetings by means of electronic communication. A member of the governing body may participate by any means of communication that allows all participating members of the governing body to simultaneously communicate with each other and, except for a meeting that is an executive session, allows the public to simultaneously attend and observe the meeting. The act requires the governing body to adopt a written policy establishing procedures that apply to members' participation in a meeting by an electronic means of communication, and may adopt procedures that are more restrictive than the procedures established by Indiana Code. So we can go by this, which they've already said they want to, or we can make our own.
Electronic policy.
I don't, I've read the thing, I don't see, if we, the council chooses to just go by this ordinance, we can do so. Or we can develop our own if we choose to do so. I've read the thing, I don't see any way that, we can change or improve on it. And, so I would say that we just, let it go and we comply with the ordinance that the commissioners have paid to have developed.
And I might add that our attorney put that together for us and we kind of adopted it off the
Well,
law.
I know that, that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so Raymond, your motion that we go along with the ordinance?
Ordinance, county commissioner ordinance
2021.
2021-015.
Okay.
For what it's worth, I know Mike's been doing this, I haven't had a lot of involvement, but the intentions of getting a TV up, and they're probably on that wall over there. So if somebody has to do a remote meeting, you'll be able to sit and look at them at the TV screen.
My face would be on
I'm sorry?
there. My face would be on
You'd
TV.
be there. It's not always complimentary when you're on them TV screens, you know
What are
that.
you trying to say, John?
No, you would look
What are you
good.
trying to say?
I think when I'm on there, it's pretty
In
scary.
terms of the back of that ordinance, there's exceptions of what will not work for electronic, and I think it's important for the council to note that, because some of that stuff is your all's business.
think
You
it's-
cannot attend electronically for certain types of meetings that it contain those particular things like budget, so you might make note of that to be able to make sure that that's,
It's in there then,
yes, it's in that ordinance, yes.
which covers us.
No member
I
of the
think that's
governing
okay.
body may participate by means of electronic communication in a meeting at which the governing body may take final action, adopt a budget, make a reduction in personnel, initiate a referendum, impose or increase a fee, impose or increase a penalty, exercise any of the county's powers of eminent domain, establish, impose, raise, or renew a tax.
And that's all
If an
proven
emergency is
wise.
declared. Yeah, that's nothing. Okay. We catch it all?
Catches it all.
All right, Raymond motioned that we go along with this. We adopt the Commissioner's Electronic Meeting Policy 2021-015. Do I have a second? Lindy seconds.
I got a
All in
question.
favor? Okay.
Does that say someone may do that, or they can at their leisure do that?
What? You can
Be
be here by meeting, as long as we can see you.
So we don't have to come to meetings anymore?
You can do two, you can only do two in a row. If you do
You-
three in a row, your vote's on.
Okay, that's what I wanna know.
You-
Is it at your leisure that you can do this? You don't have to come at all anymore?
Within the limits you can, yes.
No, there's a limit on what you.
Or is there a reason why you can't come?
Okay, let me read this other little thing to you.
Yeah, it doesn't say,
There's a limit on what you can do in there.
but it doesn't say,
Identify each.
A member may not attend more than 50% of the governing body's meeting in the county remotely by means of electronic communication
May.
unless Its participation is due to military service, illness or other medical condition, death of a relative, or an emergency involving actual or threatened injury to persons.
Do you ever
or
read
property.
anything that you send to him?
But I mean,
Do you read your email?
it leaves you at your leisure for half of it. You know.
If you're
you
sick
can
in the
decide-
military,
I know, but it doesn't say.
you do it virtually and we'll just mute you.
I guess I don't understand what your
It's
concern.
good like.
He's saying so he doesn't have to come to 50% of them.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
For the
that,
doctor's note.
that person will be eliminated at something known as an election.
Yeah.
That's rough.
I think it'll come to meetings.
Well, why are you arguing it then? We all come to meetings.
But it says 50%.
If you're sick, if you have COVID, I don't want you in here.
It's say, that way you have a vote. So if
And you
you're
have an
sick,
option.
you stay at home, we can see your face, and that way you
Right.
have a vote. Right now,
By the phone, you don't have.
by
a
the
vote.
phone, you don't have a vote. So if you wanna take it as, I don't have to come to the meetings, that's on you.
This
I
is
don't
more or
take it-
less,
I
this
don't
is
take
more
it
or
that
less
way.
for commissioners. There's only 3 of them.
Yes.
If they can't make meetings, it gets a little tedious whenever you've got,
Exactly.
okay? So it's not really, we're just adopting it, okay?
It's okay.
All in favor?
It's okay.
Let's do it.
Are you gonna oppose it or are you for
I'm
it?
gonna vote.
You're gonna
Yeah.
close it?
Yeah.
5 against, nay, 1. Eric. Okay, did everybody have a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
I have, yes.
Did you see that one? Donnie said he was here.
And it was the second one, you were here. There's been so many different meetings with the commissioners,
Oh,
you
okay.
missed one, but that August 23rd, you were here, but I haven't got to that one yet.
All right, the one me and
The
Rachel
18th,
talked about.
He was here, but the last one where you guys made the motion about the 4,000 for the medical services director, I don't have that one typed yet.
Okay.
Because we had we had 2 emergency meetings back to back, the 18th and the 23rd. I owe you guys the 10th of August regular, that budget day, and the 23rd, the last meeting where you guys put the 4,000, agreed to advertise for the 4,000 for the medical services.
Okay.
So that's the one you were at, but you missed the one before that.
Okay.
Yeah, I went back and checked, thank you, Rachel.
You missed some small stuff, but I'll let it ride this time.
Oh, I did?
It's in my Bible, so if I need to ever bring it up.
Okay, all right, sorry.
All right, so do I have a motion to accept minutes July 13th, July 16th, August 3rd, and August 18th, right? Minus the 23rd right now.
Yeah, we are not doing that.
Okay, Lindy motioned. I'll second. All in favor? 6-0.
Thank you.
Teresa, anything else? Tammy, anything else?
Your meetings in October start at 8:30. We're starting at 8:30 each day.
Maybe you wanna be here?
Dates again, 11, 12, 13,
12, 13, and 14.
12, 13, and 14, okay.
8:30.
8:30. Downstairs.
Yes. Yep.
Teresa and I hopefully will be at Auditors Conference the next week of that. And we're gonna talk to commissioners because we think a couple of us may be missing John that week. So we're gonna talk to you guys about maybe moving your meeting or canceling it or something, that second one. Canceling, I like that, that's a good one. We had quite a few here late, just I think we deserve a cancellation. But, no, you guys again, 11 o'clock on Thursday, I'll see Rachel. But the rest of y'all are welcome to come too.
So move to adjourn.
Donnie motion to adjourn.
Well, I'd like to make a comment.
Okay.
Sure. We didn't used to have rainy day fund. I want us to think about what we did today and what would we have done if we didn't have a rainy day fund. Now, it's serious stuff. And like I say, one time, we did not have a rainy day fund. And if we keep going like we are, one of these days we won't have again. And so I want us to think about, what would we have done today if we didn't have one? And, I just want us to think about that. The other thing is, I want to let everybody know that by executive order from me, and without objection, Gene Robbins is now the chairman of the EMS Oversight Committee. So, I'm gonna stay on it if you folks will let me, but, Jean is, the chairperson of the EMS Oversight Committee. She'll do a great job.
She will. She'll do a good job.
She'll be good. So, just wanna let everybody know that. And I'm appreciative of the fact that, she's gonna take it, and things will be well there. Just give us a little time and leave us alone.
We might add, you've done a marvelous job down there, Raymond.
Yes, sir. You put your heart and soul into it.
So anyway, that's, thank you.
You have, appreciate what you've done down there, Raymond. I made a motion already, need a second.
We have adjourned.